Marketing sometimes is actually fun. And this was one of the examples where we had kind of like a company that has a boring product that's not tangible. And we did something a lot of fun with it here in Southeast Asia, and it was really popular. So we were doing work several years for an online hosting company in Southeast Asia. They do cloud hosting, they do VPSs, they do website hosting, etc. But a hosting company is just another hosting company, and there's not a lot that differentiates them from another company. So as we were thinking of what to do, they were having a big trade show in Bangkok, and how do we make this exciting? How do we have some fun with this in some way? And every hosting company says we're reliable, we're fast. And so we wanted to actually create a fun experience that people would remember the branding of the company. That's where the idea of a hot air balloon contest came up. So get up in the cloud. The idea was we went to this trade show in Bangkok for the tech industry, and then we did a giveaway. One lucky winner would win fully, all expenses paid, stay in Chiang Mai. We organized everything, and then they were going to be able to actually go up in a hot air balloon with someone of their choice. So at the trade show, a young lady won. A few months later, she was able to come up to Chiang Mai. She brought her mom, and then they went up in the hot air balloon. It was funny because this was a great example of the breakdowns in communication sometimes that happen, especially with cross-cultural, cross-language. When I was chatting with my team, so I talked to the client about this idea, well, actually we could do a hot air balloon ride up in the cloud hosting, hot air balloons go up into the clouds. My team literally heard me say balloon ride, and they heard balloons. So the initial concepts they brought to the meeting with the client were really great, but they were all like collections of balloons, like, hey, here's custom balloons that we can do like this, and here's a supplier for these kinds of balloons. And we're getting through half of the presentation where I was like, okay, that's great. Like, I assume those are going to be at the trade show, or those are going to be something that we give to the winner or something. Where's the actual, cost for the hot air balloon? And it was in the meeting with the client that my team is like, oh, you mean hot air balloon? Like, it was like, yeah. I mean, those come up with any team, but I thought it was one of the funniest examples of miscommunication. So it was a lot of fun. We got up at like 5 a.m. We met the guest there at the hot air balloon place, and we got to watch the hot air balloon. They blew it up and then they took off, and we got a little video with them as they landed. Provided the client, or the hosting company, just a lot of PR and exposure and fun assets that they could do in their social media for years and years and years about up in the air, all this branded video clips and pictures. So if your product or service, is something intangible or something that a lot of people don't get really excited about, maybe you can think something like that actually can connect to it in a way that actually earns itself. I did not feel like we were stretching, being marketing crazy by doing that. It actually matched the company's whole messaging and their service of cloud hosting. Before you plan anything crazy and creative like this, identify what feeling you want people to associate with your brand, and then find something that creates feeling rather than just stating it. Ask yourself, what is kind of the opposite of how people currently experience us, and start there. Not every campaign needs to go this far, but sometimes you do need to do something that people actually remember.